Hey guys, M13 here. I am going to follow my GPS to get to work, which is something I don't normally do. I can get to work. This GPS, and the way Garmin works is it calculates the route with zero traffic and zero red lights. So it's like the fastest possible time if you're doing the speed limit. And it says 17 minutes to get to work. I can do it in 12. So which is odd. But I do different. Sometimes Garmin is weird because sometimes you'll tell a Garmin to do the shortest route possible, and I'll ignore it and take a different road. And as soon as I turn down the different road, it minuses 2 minutes off my destination time. And I'm like, well, why did you think that other road was the shortest possible route if I just took 2 minutes off the destination time by turning off of the recommended route? But for this is a new GPS, and I noticed the other day that it's a new Garmin, and my old Garmin, this new Garmin sometimes tells me to take different roads that my old Garmin did. So I'm curious if I actually just follow it all the way to work, which roads it's going to take me on, because I was very surprised that it. Right after I bought it, when I was coming home from the motorcycle shop, it took me on roads that I'd never done before to get to my house. It was just different roads than the old Garmin would take me on. That's not the topic of this video. The topic of this video is how can people be so unself-aware? If he wasn't signaling, I would have been upset by that. And if I was American, I would have been upset by that because he changed lanes pretty close to me. But in Taiwan, that's fine. As long as they signal, I don't mind. Yeah. You see, let's get right into the topic here before I get sidetracked by something else. You see these videos, these TikToks or whatever, and generally if I'm looking at a TikTok, it's not on TikTok because people make fun of me. They're like, "Whoa, you on TikTok, bro?" If I see a TikTok, it's generally on Facebook. You know, I'm on Facebook and someone is linked to a TikTok, and I think it plays on that page. So, anyways, there's these videos, doesn't matter what forum they're on, where these people walk up to these strangers on the street, and they show them a picture of another stranger, and they say on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate this person? And then they answer, and then they take a picture of that person who just answered and ask the next person, what would you rate this person on a scale of 1 to 10? And to be honest, they're pretty vain, stupid videos, but the thing that I find interesting about them is the answers that people give about themselves. You have these short, fat, unattractive girls, and when someone asks them, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rank yourself? The girls answer 10. And I'm like, this is what? Hello? What? What? It's either you're just just lying ridiculously for some weird reason. You want the world to either know that you're A, stupid, B, a liar, or C, you've never seen a mirror before. And I'm not, because they're asking them, when they say on a scale of 1 to 10, they're not talking about your personality or you as a human being. They're saying if I show this picture of you to someone which does not have your personality or anything else in it, just has your looks and your clothing, what are they going to rank you? And their answer is they'd rank me a 10, even though I'm unattractive and fat. I find that so weird. And I've always found that weird. I remember being a child in grade 4, grade 5, like a child. And I would have a classmate say to me, "Oh, that girl, Andrea, I hate her. She's such a bitch, and she's so ugly, and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, wait, I gotta stop you there. Andrea is gorgeous. And they're like, "What are you talking about? She's a total bitch." And I'm like, yeah, I agree. She's a total bitch, but she's gorgeous. Her personality doesn't change the fact that she's a 9 out of 10. You can't say that a person you don't like is ugly just because you don't like them. You can say that they're very good looking and you hate them. You can say their personality is horrible. You can say whatever you want, you can't just magically say that they're physically ugly because you don't like them. And as a child, I understood that. And as a child, I quickly realized I was the only person that understood that, because everybody else in my class would have agreed with that kid. They would have been like, oh yeah, Andrea's ugly and gross. Ew, Andrea. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? She's hot. I hate her. I wish she'd die, but she's hot, you know? And that's us talking about somebody else. When you're talking about yourself, you should know yourself better than anyone. You want me to rank myself? I'll rank myself. When I was young, I was between a 6 and a 9, depending on a person's preference. I'd say, on average, I was like a 7.5, maybe an 8. I did modeling in Canada. I did runway modeling in Canada. I've done modeling in Asia. So I was okay looking, but here's the thing. I was very, very, very skinny. Like, on a weight chart, I wasn't even on it. Like, you know, like, if you looked at whatever weight, because I'm 6 foot tall, and whatever weight a severely underweight 6 foot tall man would be, I was beneath that. Like, I was off the charts. So, if you were a girl that liked men, sporty guys, or men with muscles, I was like a 6 out of 10. I had a good looking face, nice hair and whatever, but I was skinny and I had no muscles, so I'd be a 6. If you were just a normal girl who didn't care much about muscles or skinniness or whatever, then I was a 7.5. If you were a girl that was into like high fashion and modeling and stuff like that, and preferred thin men, then I was like an 8 or a 9. So, because I dated yoga instructors, I dated ballerine teachers who modeled on the side. Like, that's another thing too. You want to know what you are? Take a look at the person you're dating. If the person you're dating is a 5, chances are you're not a 10. And I was dating 9s regularly, but I also knew that I was dating above my own. I was always dating up, and that's because I had a good personality. I was funny. I made people laugh. When I was young, I focused much more so than now, on comedy. So, and if you can make a girl laugh on a regular basis, it doesn't matter what you look like; they're going to be attracted to you. So yeah. So if you added my sense of humor. But that's personality. We're not talking about personality. We're talking about looks, and we're talking about the fact that I'm always astounded that someone can rank their own looks so far off from what reality is. And we were talking about my looks when I was young. So what about my looks now? Now, well, I said 7.5 was like my average before. Let's round that up to 8. So if I was a solid 8 when I was younger, higher for girls that liked thin guys, much lower for girls that like guys with muscles. But if I was an 8 on average. Now you'd have to deduct 2 points. 2 is a lot. Yeah, let's deduct 2. Now, let me think. 8. Okay, we're going to deduct. Yeah, we'll deduct 2. We'll deduct 2 points because I'm older now. Aging detracts from your looks. I'm not as good looking as when I was young because I'm older. So now I'm an older guy, so that's not as attractive. So let's take 2 points off. So now I'm a 6. I started to lose my hair, so I'm thin on top, and I decided that a shaved head looked better than a thin head of hair. A shaved head, it looked better than a thin head of hair. So I shaved my head. So I would look better with hair. I've tried on filters and the odd wig. I've never worn a wig, but I've tried one on and looked in the mirror and be like, yep, I'm better looking with a wig on. So let's add on, let's subtract like another point for that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 5, but I'd say I can't just be a 5 though. Well, let's change it then. Let's subtract 1 point for aging and 1 point for hair, knocking me from an 8 down to a 6, because I know I'm above average looking because I speak Chinese and I live in Asia, and I will overhear people saying that I'm good looking, and I know it's the truth because they're not saying it to my face. People will just be like, oh, they'll be saying it to other people in Chinese, and I'll walk by and I'll overhear it. So I need to be at least above average to have strangers comment on my good looks. And I've had children tell me that I'm good looking, like, fairly regularly, because I'm a teacher, and children are bluntly honest. So when a child walks up to you and just stares at you, and you say to the child, "What the heck are you looking at? I'm eating, get lost," and the kid replies back, "You're just so good looking." There's got to be some truth there. So I'd say I went from a solid 8 when I was younger, maybe 8.5, to a solid 6 now. But again, I'm not super skinny anymore. I'd say I'm slim. I'm not fat. So I kind of gained some points there with the women that don't like skinny guys. So that's good. What the hell is this GPS telling me to do? Okay. Yeah, I don't like the road we're doing right now, but I am going to do this road on the way home, because I usually take back roads to and from work, but the other day I was heading home from work and I took some like back roads, and it was like it was pouring rain when there was no rain at all, because I was getting destroyed with mosquitoes. It was just so many mosquitoes. They're just like, it was hundreds of mosquitoes hitting me every second. It physically felt like rain. And pay no attention to this red light. It's actually totally green. Yeah, so, yeah, that's the topic. I'm always amazed that people don't know how good looking they themselves are. Like, and if someone asks you, like, what are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Yeah, confidence is good, project confidence, blah, blah, blah. But when you say you're a 10 when you're obviously not, that's not confidence. You just look like an idiot. You just look stupid. Which, you know, like, you went from being ugly to ugly and stupid the second you call yourself a 10. And that's not good. So, yeah. Just know yourselves, know your limitations. And I've seen it in real life too. It's not even about, I remember one time I took this average, below average looking friend of mine to a dance club. This was a long time ago when I was young. So, and this was when I was like at my peak. I was good looking, I was well liked, I was popular, I was working as a professional dancer at a nightclub, and I brought this friend of mine to the clubs, and there was this girl there that was out of my reach, and at the time I was like an 8.5, 9, and I said to my friend, I'm like, wow, look at that girl, she's gorgeous. And my friend, who was like a 5, 6, he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go get her number. And I'm like, what? Dude, I couldn't get her number. What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get her number. So he just walked up to her and got shot down immediately. And again, it's like, you couldn't figure out that she was out of your league? Like, did you just meet yourself today? Are you new to you? Like, I'm confused. Having said that, there was statistically, there was a real chance of him getting her number, like, 5% or less. So maybe he was just playing the numbers, and I'm all for that, But if that was the case, he just should have said, well, I don't care about rejection. I don't mind making a fool out of myself, so I'm gonna go ask for her number. And I would have agreed with. I'm like, yeah, good for you. There's there's like a 5% chance she'll give it to you, and the fact that you're not fearful of rejection is fantastic. Go see if you can win the lotto. But that's not what I saw. What I saw was him saying that he would get her number, and that he was very confident that he would. He thought there was like a 90% chance he would get it, which confused me. So anyways, that's it. How well do you know yourself? And are you as deluded as the majority of people seem to be nowadays? Hey, I've always kind of had a minor fascination with bathrooms. I like this one. You get your own individual urinals, and they got walls on the side, so the guy next to you can't peek, and they're spaced apart far. And then to top it off, you have a nice view, like an outdoor view. This is the highway. And you get to watch the cars go by. So, like, in theory, if a really sexy car like a Ferrari or something went by, and you could have a quick wank, just be standing here looking at a nice Ferrari, and you know, you'd only have I timed it. You got about 12 seconds from when a vehicle appears to when it goes out of your field of view. But 12 seconds, I think it's possible. It's possible. I'd take that challenge.